Hasn't the weather been just crazy lately? That's how I started the conversation with the friend who I bumped into on the Larkspur Trail. Because one thing about this friend is talking with him can sometimes be like entering into a conversation minefield. And so being aware of this, and he was on his bike and I was clipping along at a nice pace, and so I thought, I'm going to keep it safe. We're going to talk about the weather. And so I started out with something like, hasn't the weather been just crazy lately? Safe, right? I thought, I'm safe. We're in good ground here. And his response to me is, when are people going to acknowledge that global warming is a fact? And then he went in with a whole spiel on the fossil fuels and the damages that they were doing to the earth and how we needed to curtail the use of fossil fuels. And immediately I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'm wearing a cotton shirt. I'm wearing a cotton pants. I am even wearing cotton underwear. I'm good to go, right? And then I thought to myself, oh my goodness, no. That elastic waistband on my underwear, that probably has fossil fuels in it. In fact, even the growing of that cotton probably used fossil fuels. And then the manufacture of my cotton clothing probably used fossil fuels. And then the transportation of my cotton clothing probably used fossil fuels. That's it. I'm a sinner. I'm sunk. There's nothing I can do about it. But see, that's what I love about my friend. I mean, he is so loving and so excited in his message that you can't help but do a good self-evaluation. I mean, he does it in a way that, yeah, I admit there are times where I consider it to be a conversation minefield, but most of the times I love him because of his courage. His courage. He's like that mouse, just looking that lion straight in the eyes. And isn't that what Jesus was telling us today? We hear twice in today's Gospel of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 28 and 31. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. The gospel message, the good news, needs to be heard more now than ever in my lifetime. But if the good news is going to be proclaimed, who's going to be doing the proclaiming? We are. But it's so difficult nowadays. I mean, we're told that whatever social setting we might find ourselves in, the two topics that you cannot raise are politics and religion. Well, we don't need to talk about politics and religion. We just need to share with love constructive thoughts, constructive opinions, constructive views. Yes, we're going to sometimes step on a mine in that conversation minefield. And yet, we cannot be afraid. I know it's not easy. I had one time found myself pastor of a divided church. It was a church divided between the traditionalists and the progressives. I found myself in a situation I was darned if you do and darned if you don't. It was worse than walking through a conversation minefield. I had to be self-conscious about everything I said. And even then, I had to worry about what was going to be said about me. I know very much what Jeremiah felt like in our first reading from the book of Jeremiah, chapter 20, verse 10, where he said, yes, I hear the whisperings of many, terror on every side, denounce. Let us denounce him. All those who were my friends are on the watch for any misstep of mine. Perhaps he can be tricked. Then we will prevail and take our revenge on him. Notice, he was even worried about his own friends. What are we to do? Well, the reality is, what doesn't work? Divisiveness. Do we think that we're going to forward our cause through divisiveness, through tearing others down, through being destructive? Do you think that has ever worked in history? Have we built things up by tearing others down? Jesus tells us in the Gospel of Matthew chapter 10, verse 26 to 27, fear no one. Fear no one. Fear no one. Even Jeremiah said in our first reading that we don't have to fear because we have God as our mighty champion. Jesus says, fear no one. Nothing is concealed that will not be revealed, nor secret that will not be known. The reality is, we are called to live lives that are constructive, that build others up. For me, the definition of fearless means to live a life that is above reproach, that is beyond criticism. That's what it means to be fearless, to live in such a way that we are constructive, not destructive, not divisive. Jesus continues, what I say to you in the darkness, speak in the light. We are called to bring an end to darkness, not by bringing more darkness, but by being light. It's light that will bring an end to darkness. And so today, the message is, fear no one. Do not be afraid. The gospel message needs to be heard right now, needs to be proclaimed with courage in a constructive way that helps people up, that helps people to be all that God created them to be the best versions of themselves. Can we end divisiveness? Yes, through being our constructive selves, by preaching the good news. Let us live and preach through our lives. May we be a light in the darkness and live with